guys, coming to you from Key West, Florida, Tiana Talent with the Talent Method, and we're gonna go over some common mistakes with the overhead press today. So, why do we work on the overhead press? It's a great way to build pushing strength, specifically triceps, shoulder strength. I also really like it as a similar motion for handstand work. And then for me personally, I love overhead stuff just to help me with jerk and snatch strength and mobility. So, common mistakes with the overhead press. The two most common things that I see are people completely losing tension in their midline. So ribs popping out. We call this like banana back. Like there's no tension anywhere in here. And then the second common mistake is just no leg engagement at all. So like, I think it goes along with the same pattern. I can't really squeeze my butt in this position just because my ribs are so far extended. So one quick fix is to think about pulling my ribs down, and then I can actually push down to the ground. Because if you think about it, if the bar's on your shoulders, what do I want to do to get the bar overhead? Yes, I want to push up on the bar, but I can also think about driving my legs down into the ground, and that force is going to help me get the bar overhead. So let's do a couple good ones. See there, my ribs stayed nice and tight and my legs and my butt were squeezed. So everything had really good tension with it. So a not so great rep might look something like this. So already starting, hopefully you can see a difference in my torso. So I don't have any engagement here at all. And then I just keep that arch as I go overhead. So this is really not a very strong position at all. This is not so good on my back. It also feels really awkward bringing the bar down, like you just don't have any tension. Whereas if I get nice and tight, brace my core, and then drive up. Right now the bar is much more stacked, hopefully about over my midfoot. Kind of where my laces would be if I had on shoes. The other, I'm not sure if you can see with that first one, but the other thing you want to do is make the bar go straight up. A lot of times when people get this arching position, they end up pushing the bar forward. So I'll see if I can kind of show what that pattern looks like. I think it just comes from this back position. You end up having to go like around your head and then trying to come through. So it's like you're creating like almost like a half circle, which is really just inefficient. When we're moving the barbell, we want to move the bar the shortest amount of distance possible, which in this plane is directly vertical. So let's say your shoulder mobility isn't great and you want an exercise to work toward being able to do a shoulder press with the barbell. One of my favorite exercises is the bottoms up kettlebell press. Okay, so with the bottoms up kettlebell press, this is as much about the arm pressing the kettlebell as it is about the arm pushing into the rig. So this is this arm pushing into the rig, we're really working on protracting or pulling the shoulder blade away from the spine. So this arm staying super active. And I get this kettlebell upside down. My goal is to really push into the upright as I drive the kettlebell overhead, focusing on keeping my ribs pulled down. So if you have really tight hip flexors like I do, you'll feel a really good stretch in the front of your quad. So the other thing you'll notice here is I'm not letting my hand turn in like so. What I'm working on doing is keeping that external rotation and the arm pressing overhead. So the kettlebell stays in the same plane the whole way. So that's a really good exercise to help you work on getting better overhead mobility. And then you can practice maybe even supersetting something like this with something like a barbell overhead press to see if it changes the movement for you. If you guys have questions, please post them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Mwah!